You're watching TVC Breakfast, and we've been talking about the tasks ahead of Usman Ododo, who is the winner of the Kogi off-cycle election in the November 11 Kogi Governorship election. He won with 446,237 votes. I've been speaking with public affairs analyst Sheson Okunade, as well as Adewale Adeoye, who is the executive director, journalist for Democratic Rights. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Sheson, let me come to you. As an accountant, you already alluded to the fact that Ododo is a chartered accountant and MSc degree holder in accounting. He was the Auditor General of Kogi Local Government Service and has been part of the part and parcel of the Governor Yaya Bello-led administration in the state. So how difficult or easy do you find these tasks ahead of him? Adewale made us understand that there are so many areas where you can tap from and make the country, the state, a real confluent state that it really is. How easy do you think it might be for him to do this?
Yeah, I would say it's easy, and at the same time it's a difficult task ahead of him. One thing you understand with accountant, it's area of prudency when it comes to spending. And we expect that he understands the economic dynamism that he needs to play in making sure that an average Kogi citizen, have the benefit of democracy. What do I mean? It needs, like I will re-emphasize what Mr. Adewale said, area of security. You see, if the environment is not well secured, you won't have the confidence of people going around to carry out their business activity. And if you must grow the economy, security is very much paramount. What are the other things you need to work on? Infrastructure. You see, it needs to have a sync with the federal government in such a way that I'm sure there is no how you want to move from any part of the country to Abuja without going through Lokoja, one way or the other. How much activities are you putting in place in such a way that people can decide to make that area a focal point of tourism? Where you'll be traveling to Abuja, you decide to just stay a day in Lokoja because of the certain things that will attract you to that area. It's an area that even if the people, because with that, you are going to create more opportunity for the citizen of the state. So it's like when you set up a school in a particular locality, as the student comes in, you give value to the citizen, because the traders, the rent of that area, we start, improving one way or the other. So I see a situation where you should be able to put the figure, rightly, and make sure that you invest in infrastructure to develop even tourism in that state, and also explore the aspect of industrialization. I can tell you for free, the obligation of the companies to the state in terms of payee, if you're able to grow the industries that you have, it's enormous to take care of certain things. You can imagine we have the mining of limestone in the Ajakuta. We have that of the steel. You can imagine if those industries start functioning, the value chain across board, that those things we create in the state will definitely generate enough taxes. It should bring to bear his expertise as a chartered accountant in making sure that the internal revenue generation of the state improve. That is an area that you always see accountant focused on. And what do you mean? You make sure that there is a balance. When people pay taxes, they get value for it by fulfilling your social contract on the part of the government. If you're able to do that, you give them the encouragement. You can see what is transpiring in some states. Take, for example, in Lagos, people willingly pay their taxes because they feel that the taxpayers' money are going in the direction of development that is expected. But where people see the gap, you discover that they will be discouraged in fulfilling their, and that's one of the legitimate way government can get, generate revenue. So I feel that it should put a structure in place in terms of the state's internal revenue services in such a way to make sure that they're able to improve on it with technology, and government fulfilling their own side of the coin by making sure that the social contract in terms of development are offered to the people. When you see good roads, you have good hospitals, you have good schools, people are seeing the dividend of those things, not them, providing those infrastructure that government supposed to provide. You see them, obliging to pay their taxes, and even the corporate organization will be willing on their part to pay their payee and some of those things, which will definitely improve. Even if the allocation from the federal government is not coming, like majority of them are doing. We have said what brought the development to Lagos State is the decision of Obasanjo in 1999 to deal with the current president by making sure that he withheld some of the allocation that is meant for him. And that grew the IGR of Lagos State. So I want to see an opportunity where my fellow professional colleague will bring to bear, his expertise in making sure that the IGR of the state, wherever it's standing now, at least be able to triple it and give the people the dividend of democracy in that state.
Interesting stuff. Kogi is bordered by about 9 states, almost around it. And then when the election was holding, the state was a bit, they had some sort of lockdown, and some trailers, some travelers, some commuters were, locked down just around the state, and they lost lots and lots of money. So it means that people who are traveling through Kogi to other states, one way or the other, they'll be dropping some money. Some money is right there in the state. How do you feel that this governor can harness the benefits he can derive from all of these, bordering states, working with the governors and, building a very big and viral Kogi state?
Yes, I think since 1999, that opportunity has not been explored by any of these Kogi state governors. People are underestimating the value of Kogi state. Lokoja, as far back as 1917, the township ordinance of the colonial masters, categorized Lokoja as one of the most important cities in Nigeria. And during the 18th and 19th century, Lokoja played a very important role in terms of slavery and all that. To the extent that when the slaves were freed in the 19th century, Samuel Ajayi Crowther established what they call Iron of Liberty and put it in Lokoja. Up to today, I don't know what has happened to that. And you realize that anytime you are traveling to Abuja, most people, you have to stop over in Lokoja to relax, to eat. Coming from Abuja also, when I was in Punch, working in the Punch office in Abuja, anytime I'm traveling to Lagos by road, I make sure I stop in Lokoja while going back. And you see a lot of people from the east, from the west. So this is a huge revenue opportunity for him in terms of the hospitality business. To be able to establish even trailers going to the north, Lokoja is a stopover. Thousands, millions of people do that every year. If you have good parks, good rest places, and people maybe stay 1 or 2 days to go and look at the historical sites, it's a huge opportunity. And you don't actually need to invest your own money. All you need to do is to partner with local and international organizations. The British Council is there. The Ford Foundation is there. These are things that will interest them. So what we need now is the wealth of the human mind to be able to turn adversity into opportunity in Kogi State. So it needs a lot of creativity. It needs somebody who has a vision that can bring stone out of water. But the potential is there, for anybody who is actually, have a lot of deep understanding of history and economics to be able to transform Kogi State into a huge and prosperous state. And I hope, it will open up his eyes. And of course, the water resources is there. So I'm looking up towards his tourism and water resources department or ministry to be able to turn around the Niger and Benue confluence to a huge fishing hub and a huge tourism. It's not magic. It can be done. It is possible. If we're looking up how you can collaborate with other countries outside outside Africa or within Africa, I think it's something that can be done.
Right, Sheson, we are coasting home now, but I would like to take your final thoughts. The opposition party, Murtala Ajaka, said it won't go to court earlier, but later on it's changed its mind, said it will go to court. Dino Melaye said he's not going to work with the incumbent party. But what would be your advice for the opposition parties? We've probably not had last about the aftermath of the election, but whatever happens afterwards, but what would be your final thoughts on what transpired at the elections and going forward?
Yeah, well, for me, the decision of the SDP candidates to go to court is good. We need to, most of the time, test some of these things and have a fair balance. Like I will always say, most of the time, it's almost or always an opportunity for you to put together your followers because you don't just go to bed and accept defeat. So if he's contesting it with in the court, it's a welcome development. All we need to look out for is that the judiciary are able to do things the right way. And don't forget, the precedent has been set by the woman that contested for the senatorial seat. If you have your facts, with you, take it to the court, and the judges will look at it critically. And if on the long run they find it fit that you actually win the election, that will be the path. But I always feel that when issues like this happen, you have the idea, I have the idea. And since the winning party has considered to say, we'll give you the olive tree, let all of us come together and work, I feel you can always bring your idea to the table. It's not about individual. It's about the development of the citizen of the state. And let's look at how we can, conglomerate all our ideas together to give our state that leverage among every other state as against challenging ourselves and impoverishing our people. One thing they should not forget is that the more you impoverish your citizen of the state, the more problem you create for yourself as an individual.
Thank you very much, Public Affairs Analyst Sheson Okwade and Adewale Adeoye, the Executive Director, Journalist for Democratic Rights. Thank you so much, gentlemen,
Thank you very much.
for your time on this.